Happy Friday, everybody, and welcome to Brown Bag Bets, powered by BetSperts, who are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. Andrew, how are you? Happy Friday. Do we have anything fun planned for the weekend?
I do. I'm going to write a shitload of more previews. There's the SoCon, which is the Southern Conference, and the Sun Belt start this afternoon. The real shitty ones on Saturday. Colonial, which is a small league out east, the NEC, which might even be smaller, and the Summit League, which is close, near and dear to my heart as a former South Dakota State Jackrabbit. So the Summit League tournament starts Saturday, and then a beautiful one, the MEAC on Sunday. So should have, 6 more previews out over the weekend from today through Sunday, and then the big day is Wednesday. Wednesday is next week. The Mountain West, the SWAC, the Big Sky, Conference USA, the Southland, the Big 12, the Big East, the Pac-12, the SEC, and the Big 10 all start on Wednesday. So there's some big happenings late next week. We'll have nothing but conference tournament games. So, and then thank you, Mr. Birdie. I think every NBA game went under but one. Yeah, maybe they adjusted. I don't know. And which one went over, though?
Not ours.
I thought it did. Damn it. I was setting you up for success.
It was close. It was close. Yeah, the Raptors game was the one that went over, and that was it's funky. The last couple days were interesting, just come from kind of like and again, if you like trends or whatever, low unders have gone under this year, high overs have gone over. And to maybe help you make a little more sense of that, any total, I think it was 235 or higher, was basically like a 75% win rate. Any total like 215, 216 or under, going under, was like a 75% win rate or something. And we saw that actually regress a little to the mean in the last few days. And the Raptors over was part of that. So, another funky night in the association. Luckily, our 2 underdogs got it done. So, although we went short on the
if you do want to take a lesson from last night, I think there is something to be said for any night in the NBA, paying attention for possible players sitting and things of that nature. But Jesus, last night or yesterday afternoon, they were just coming in bunches and like random, and you saw a bunch of it coming. Like we were waiting for some of this stuff. Brett says Portland went over.
That's what I was looking at. And I forget what mental state I was in last night, but it was very bleary when I pulled up and I tried to quickly add together what the points were.
Yeah, I thought we won. I think swept the NBA. I think not only you swept the NBA, but the game I bet on Eastern Kentucky started at 9:30 local for me. The last time I looked at the score before I fell asleep, it was 7-9. My team was losing. I ended up covering late. Any number they were, even the 2, which was the late number, it did get steamed out a little. That covered. So God bless the Colonels. Probably, if I didn't have an outright on them, I'd be backing them again as a dog. So something to look for. I do have a couple college basketball plays today I'll talk about, but we'll start with the NBA because no games, but there's an all-star game. So I was confused last year, and this is good because I seen this in the show notes. You said you were going to explain the All-Star game again, which is good because there was so much confusion last year over the Elam ending and what they were doing with that. It didn't make sense to me. I needed a lot of people to explain. Once I got it, but it was tricky. So are they doing anything funny like that? What's the status of the what do you call it? Like the Olympic decathlon of events that they do, the 3-point skills challenge. Are they doing everything like that? Is there a futures game? What's cracking for the NBA All-Star break?
So they're going to lump it all into one night. There's going to be a skills challenge. There's going to be a 3-point shootout. There'll be an all-star game. Then at halftime of the all-star game, the halftime show will be the dunk contest. They will be doing the Elam ending. And I realized I didn't actually look up why they call it the Elam ending. Maybe some guy named Elam.
It's the guy who invented it. I'm pretty sure.
So the idea here is they're playing the entire game for charity. Each team has a charity. If you win a quarter, a certain amount of money goes to your charity. If you win a half, vice versa. And the score will still be tallied for those first 3 quarters like normal. We'll have, I think it's still 12-minute quarters, right? So the first 3 quarters will feel like normal basketball. At the beginning of the 4th quarter, they will take the leading team's score to that point through 3 quarters and add 24 points to it. And that's the number we're playing to. So if we get to the end of the 3rd quarter and the score is 100-90, we're going to play to 124. Take the 100, add 24. We're playing to 124. So again, there's no clock. They just keep playing until they reach a number. That means the game is over when there is a free throw or a basket made that gets some team to 124 or above. You know, if they're at 122 and somebody hits a 3 and they go to 125, it's not like we're playing cornhole and you go back down. You can go over the 124, but we're playing to we're playing to 24 plus whatever the leading score is at the end of 3 quarters. That makes sense, Andy?
Yeah, and I mean, so there is something to be said for, like, if you take it's almost like tennis where the math is like, you get to the final set and you know you're screwed. Like, even if they win 6-0, you can't cover the spread, or even if they lose 6-0, you know, you just can't get it there. It's similar to that. Like, if it's a close game going into this, or let's say it's not a close game, I can't remember which way it is, but there's certain ways where it's like, oh man, they literally, they can't go over this certain total anymore, because even if both teams scored, you know, up to the 24-point barrier, that the underdog would need to score even more. Like, you know how many points could be, and you know, at the end it would have to be like the team needs 1 more point and drains a 3 or something. So that would be the most possible points you could score and the most you could win by. So oftentimes like I've had a shitload of Elam ending games or something, but in a situation like this, you will know, like, this is the most this team could win by. This is the most amount of points that can be scored. So it does. I don't know what they'll do with live betting on that. That'll be interesting to see. I'm going to pull that up to see if they leave it up.
I don't advocating betting on the full game all-star stuff. Maybe you have an angle and it can be fun, but if you are betting that, make sure you take that into account. And really what that means is the final quarter, the most points scored by one team in the final quarter should be 24. Again, maybe 25 if it goes over a little bit. So the most total points you could have in the fourth quarter is going to be 47, 48, 49. It's a really limited number there. So take that into account in your handicapping. I guess so. If we think about it,
it could be 49. Could 23 all, and then you drain a 3.
Right. Yeah.
And if they fouled him on the 3, I really doubt they'd make him shoot the free throw.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you.
I'm not sure you can get the end one.
They wouldn't shoot the free throw. The game would be over.
It's like the extra point after a walk-off touchdown. You don't kick that. So if you are confused, just don't watch it, I guess. I don't know what to tell you.
Reach out. I'm happy to try to explain it again. But the first 3 quarters will look totally normal. The 4th quarter, first team to 24 wins, basically.
Yeah.
It's an interesting ending. They started doing it in the G League, and the idea is it's an attempt to try something different, to not have what I think a lot of people hate at the end of games, where there's a lot of fouling back and forth. You have a lot of timeouts and like clock stuff, while people are trying to manage the time of the game more than trying to, score points. So it's interesting. They do it in the G League. I don't know if they always do it in the G League. They did it for a period in the G League. I don't know if they're still doing it. And then we do it for the All-Star game. So it's interesting. I don't know if it's the future of the NBA, but it's nice to see a sports league attempt to try something different, so that we have a better product to watch.
And it's been that kind of year with the runners on second, the DH in the NL. Excuse me, some frosted mini wheats there. A few different things that teams have tried. The NFL's been good about changing some of their overtime rules. Obviously, the NHL has changed their overtime rules a couple times. I don't hate leagues changing things. I just hate having to do math. So this is almost like when I look at DraftKings or FanDuel, I can't remember which, and they don't have a second half line. They have how many points will be total. Like if it's 15-15 and the second half is 30, they'll just say 60 instead, and they make you do the math. So I will get to
somebody pointed out, I think we kind of botched that, the total points of the fourth quarter. If a team's down 10, so yeah, It's all very confusing. Don't bet the All-Star game. We'll talk about some of the skills stuff. I have a skills contest winner and some 3-point winners, and I don't know what's going on with the dunk contest. We'll talk about that. Just don't bet on the All-Star.
Don't get too involved. I'll get to your question there, Savage, in a second. But for the most part, taking it semi-light still on college basketball. I'm going to play a team I faded last year, Northern Iowa, just because I am not keen on the 1 seed in that bracket. And then Seattle is my banger. This is maybe down to 3.5 now. I bet this at 4.5 some places. This was one of those that popped off the damn sheet, and I thought I was going to run into a situation where something was wrong. Maybe Seattle loses by 30, and it's hilarious that I'm saying this, but this was one where I expected to find something wrong and say, oh, now I can't bet this, where, like there's players missing or they're off some weird ass break or something goofy happened along those lines. It wasn't the case. Seattle was maybe one of these teams that started a little slow, and there's a few things going on in this conference in general where there was some breaks. They actually have a weird deal where they have 3 players that all came up from the same JUCO team, like a really good team that was like 30-0 last year, and they all said, hey, let's go to Seattle and play there. So they have some players that haven't been there for a while, but they've played together for a long time, starting to gel. It's a pretty good team, and just Cal Baptist's defense sucks. It's the worst in the conference. It's not including Chicago State, who quit like 3 weeks or 3 months ago. So 325th rated defense in the country, somebody I absolutely hate to back Cal Baptist. So Seattle +4. I think they win the damn game. They're very careful with the ball. They shoot free throws great. Just all the things I like about an underdog. So this is the one I do like this better. I bet everything the same because I don't try to put any sort of staking towards these ones. So yeah, I mean it is like if you wanted to put a little tickle on the money line, Birdie's asking about that. That's fine. Somebody did ask St. Louis versus UMass. UMass had a hell of a game the other day, did they not? But I don't like St. Louis, but they are the odds-on favorite. Sometimes I hate on a favorite that's actually pretty good. So I think that line's pretty fair. I'm not probably getting involved in that one. I think I might be a little biased against St. Louis to begin with. So that's it for me on those. And like I said, probably in a couple hours, the SoCon, I think I'm going to see which one starts first. I got it on my notepad here. The SoCon starts like a half hour first. So I'll do the SoCon first and then the Fun Belt after that. So we'll get a couple more conference previews out tonight. And somebody says Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin going up? Are we seeing green today?
I saw that excitement, but it's actually down a tick.
Yeah, we got red candles, bud. We will be, deep dive. We'll be doing some more Bitcoin stuff tonight, hopefully. So that'll be fun. Ooh. And then, triggered as I am, even 10. It's been 10 years. Quick story before Noops gets to his
story time.
His props. I had a pretty damn good number on JaVale McGee to win the 2011 dunk contest. Blake Griffin shouldn't even have been in the final. They rigged that to get him into the final so they get him to jump over this goddamn car, which is a Kia, which is not even a good car. Like, I don't even like Kias. It wasn't even that cool.
He didn't even jump over it. He jumped over it sideways.
He jumped over like that. Bullshit. Yeah, it was dumb. And so, like, it's funny. It's been 10 years. I'm still mad about that bet. I couldn't even tell you what price I got. I know it was a good price because I was pissed that it didn't cash because McGee was looking great. Like he was actually making cool dunks. So as triggered as I am, we will get into some props on this one here. So it looks like you're going to skip the All-Star contest or the dunk contest altogether, which good idea. First off, but you have some thoughts on the 3-point shootout.
Yeah, to touch on the dunk contest quickly, it's Obi Toppin, Anthony Simons, and then a third person's name I can't remember it. It actually isn't in front of me right now. And he is a big favorite, Stanley. Something Stanley. And I don't know much about him. He's a big favorite. Smart people tell me he should be a favorite. We're just going to pass on all that together. If you want to bet somebody, I see 6-1 on Simons. It's a 3-man event. I could think of worse things to do than sprinkle a 6-1 in a 3-man event a little bit. But the two other contests, we've got the 3-point shootout. That will be the second event of the night. We'll start with the skills challenge, and I've got something there. But if you're looking for 3-point shootout winners, this is one of my favorite things actually to bet every year. Had Joe Harris, was that last year or 2 years ago? Devin Booker the year before that. It's a really interesting contest in that, people think that you're wide open in a gym shooting, but it's a really unnatural motion to reach down with the ball, pull up like that over and over again. And to do it in a minute like that is actually, pretty physically fatiguing. And as you start to look at winners, it's a lot of big guys. You had guys like Peja Stojakovic, who was, I think, 6'9", almost 6'10", did very well and stuff like this. Dirk Nowitzki won. A guy by the name of Jason Kapono, who was like a 6'7", 6'8" guard, has a couple of those. As you start to go back and look at the last couple of years, you had Buddy Hield, who's only 6'4", and Steph Curry, I think, who's only 6'4", but everybody else is in that 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" range. And again, I think it's just a physical thing. It's hard to make your way around and shoot all those shots as quickly as you have to. The other thing I try to look at is when people handicap this, they may look at, catch and shoot 3-point percentage and wide open 3-point percentage. But I've done well starting to look at pull-up 3-point shooting because I think it's actually more akin to what they're going to be doing. Yes, they're standing in the same spot, but every time they're reaching down, getting set, shooting, reaching down, getting set, shooting. It's a lot more like kind of a pull-up jumper for me. So grab two names. Again, was trying to look for bigger guards. Devin Booker is 6'5", has won this event before. Zach LaVine is 6'6". Both of them shoot over 40% on pull-up 3-pointers. The two numbers that I have there, plus 390 on LaVine. If you look around, there's a 5-1 in another place. So I was actually able to get 5-1 there, but I still like it at plus 390. Devin Booker plus 480. That was the best number I was able to find there. Just put kind of a half unit down on each one of those. It'll be fun to watch, but I think there is some value. I think as you start to look at the top of the market, you've got guys like Steph Curry obviously deserves to be, the favorite in something like this. But at plus 200, I don't know. I don't know if he necessarily is that big of a favorite to get an event with such a short sample size. Although he's won it, I think these two guys are good, and I like the numbers there. So we'll go LaVine and Booker to win the 3-point shootout, Andy.
I like it. Yeah, and why would Curry care? We know he's a good shooter. So you said the skills challenge is actually first. So
yeah,
I'm
skills challenge will be up
first.
Oh, it's okay. Don't you worry. I think that was the order I put him in when I told you to do it anyway. So you start to look at the skills challenge. For those of you that don't exactly remember, that's the one when they put all that weird crap on the court. They got to dribble and weave and pass into like baskets and stuff. But the whole thing comes down to hitting a 3-pointer at the end. Basically, they time you while you go through this course, and the moment that seems to take the most, the passes are kind of tough. You need to have somebody that can get those passes into the little circles that might slow somebody down, but it's a 3-pointer at the end. You do this whole loop, and then at the end, you got to pull up and hit a 3-pointer, and you keep shooting 3-pointers until you make them. And that's really what kind of sinks guys. And as I start to look back at some of the past winners, it really is, again, kind of going back to what I was talking to from the 3-point contest perspective. It's pull-up 3-point shooting. Julius Randle's been a great 3-point shooter this year. He doesn't have a ton of pull-ups, but he's a 40% 3-point shooter. I think he's in the high 30s on some of his pull-ups, which puts him, frankly, in range of some of the other guys that are in this contest. You start to look at the favorites. It makes perfect sense that Luka Doncic and Chris Paul would be the favorites. They're the guards. They're going to do the best in kind of that other stuff, but neither one of them is a really particularly efficient pull-up shooter. Luka Doncic does shoot a lot of pull-ups, but not at a very high rate. Look at the other guys, Sabonis, Vucevic, Covington, again, I think they're going to struggle to hit that last 3-point shot, where Randle, who's 6-1 to win, I think he's going to do very well running through. He's got the passing, he's got the dribbling, and I think he has a chance to, again, make that 3-pointer when he's one-on-one against Paul or Luka Doncic there at the end. So I'm going to grab Randle there at 6-1.
I like it, and especially since I do like betting these. I like betting these props and stuff like this. It makes it worth watching. It makes it more fun. I did see one more fun prop that was up. This is at Bovada, and it's funny. I made this slide, a half hour ago, and then two people actually asked about it.
I can't believe it. Well done, Dave Mason.
No, this is Bovada. This is Bovada. So we got to shout out to.
No, that's right. That's not Dave Mason.
I can't think of the
Pat Morrow. I'm sorry, Patrick Morrow.
Pat Morrow. So
Pat Morrow. Well done, Patrick Morrow. That's tremendous.
To win $250 on this. So I thought it was going to be like a $25 prop, but yes. Tortellini, Rob Pizzola's turtle, is minus 170 to possible not real person, Ben the Better, who just, I'm not even sure giving this guy, any sort of PR is a good idea by anyone, but here we are. This is 2020, 2021 in an absolute nutshell. You can bet on this. And like I said, they're taking $450 roughly to win 250 on Tortellini. It's funny, I didn't even consider.
Pretty good. Tortellini is a great name for a tortoise. I know I commented on that, and I think Pizzola saw that, but what a fantastic name for a tortoise.
I'm not 100% sure if he's actually making the picks, if it's just gonna be like the squid that picks stuff.
Well, I think it's like the squid thing. I think he's going to put the tortellini. I don't know exactly how it's going to happen, but the way it was described, that whatever Ben picks a game, if it's a side, then tortellini is going to pick the total, and I assume it'll be like, here's this food, it's over. Here's this food, it's under, or something. Excited to see how this happens, and it's just well done.
And then
well done, everybody.
Well done, Eddie. Yeah, it is funny. Like this sort of shit makes Twitter fun. Real quick, a live bet for anyone watching this right now. You're lucky, because if you're listening to this in a podcast, this already won. Clearly already won with 3 late goals. But in Turkey, not in the Super League, in the one league, I'm not going to try to say these names. Kisörenköy versus Istanbulspor. Istanbulspor AS. Second half over 1.25, minus 105. I just put a little money on this bookmaker because I forgot to bet this game. And Pete, there's a random dude who tags me in his Turkish plays. Not a random dude. I talk to him all the time. He'll tag me in his Turkish football plays and say it's a consensus with me. It's not, but I go along with it because they always seem to win. So I forgot to bet the over 2.25. So I'm betting over 1.25 second half. And I put the banner up to help you with the spelling. So you can figure, I think it's the only Turkish game going on right now.
You go to Soccer Live Turkey League 1. This is it.
Yeah, there's only one Turkish game going on right now. It's not like there's a big menu of these. So that is it. Thanks for hanging with us all week. Thanks for hanging around. Don't forget to sign up for WynnBET for all your March Madness stuff. Like, not only do I pump them out, they're the sponsor, so we're going to mention them, but also, like, just aside from all that, they're one of the only books that is giving me odds on these smaller conference tournaments on the regular right now. Like, I am having to DM a little and make sure they're getting them in the right order. So like, hey, this is the next one up, guys. But they've been great about that. So if you do want to bet some of these smaller conference tournaments, make sure you get signed up for WynnBET. The links are in the podcast description and on YouTube. And if you are on YouTube, do give us a thumbs up. I'd love that. We're out here giving you winners in turtle handicapping and hopefully some all-star break stuff. And enjoy the all-star break, enjoy conference tournament time, enjoy your weekend. Happy Friday for me and Alex. We'll catch you next week, huh?